Hey, how's it going, everybody? Gabriel, Santiago here. So this is a Speaking of Harmony podcast. This is episode 21. Thank you so much for all the feedback. Before we go into today's subject, I would like to remind you guys that I'm going to be live tonight on YouTube, on Facebook, and everywhere. So 8 p.m. Central Time, I'll be playing live again for like about an hour or so. So it's another chance for us to interact. You guys can, ask questions and all that, so we can hang out and I play some more music. And then usually I play entire songs and stuff, and maybe sometimes take a few requests and all that. So don't forget to plug in, to tune in at 8 p.m. Central Time. It's gonna be great to have you guys there again. And we can ask questions and all that, and I'm trying to address the questions as fast as I can, because there's a lot of comments, a lot of love coming from YouTube and Facebook and all that. So I really appreciate, guys. Another shout out for everybody who is listening on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and all those great platforms where the podcast is available in audio format. So tonight, actually, I'm going to be addressing a lot of questions for sure, because last time I did already a bunch of questions popped up, and I tried to address both at the same time. But now I'm going to actually feature a question from a follower and talk a little bit about that in today's episode. So let's go to the question. Anthony Farrugia asks me, hey Gabriel, I'm loving your new podcast. Thank you very much. Is there a possibility of talking about your technique? You look so relaxed when you play. Thank you very much. How did you develop that relaxed way of playing? It sounds so smooth and fluid. Thanks again. Well, thank you so much for the question, Anthony. Let's talk a little bit about that, right? So what you saw me play in the beginning was a super groovy kind of like samba thing, right? Super groovy samba, super busy, and like a lot of layers and a lot of stuff happening, right? So for instance, a groove like that, I actually modeled that groove after a great piano player, arranger, and composer from Brazil, César Camargo Mariano, a true master. A good friend of mine. He's a genius. Worked with who and who in Brazilian music, right? And he's a piano player, so he has this groove that he does, kind of a signature thing that he does. And I always heard him on records and saw him playing, and I wanted to model that groove. And so then he comes the question, so how do I do that? There's not really hey, I'm going to use that technique to try to model the groove or whatever. I just try to listen to whatever he's playing and catch the layers and the details, and then figure out a way on how it's possible to play on the guitar, right? So my technique kind of adapts to that. So I guess addressing the first question, talking about technique, the first thing I would have to say is that the technique serves the performance all the time, right? Always. There's no technique and then I play something. It's just always me trying to play something and trying to get the technique to catch up to whatever I'm hearing, whatever sound I'm trying to achieve, right? So for instance, I want to try to have this sort of right hand, melodic kind of gesture that he does, which is inside the groove, because he does this thing with his horn arrangement and stuff like that. It's so beautiful. And then I had to merge that with the regular samba thing. So then there's no technique for that. I have to kind of come up with a way of playing, and that's when you have to use technique to serve you, right? Not be enslaved by the technique, right? I can only play this thing like that, or using this kind of support and thumb and all the stuff. Just have a sound. The most important thing is to have a sound and a concept in mind. The sound you want to hear, the sound you want to project, and then your technique has to catch up with that, right? Of course, you have standard techniques, guitar techniques that have to go through to exercise and stuff like that, and get fluency, right, with your right hand, with independence of the fingers, and the left hand and all that, right? But when it gets to a point, you start to morphing the technique into whatever you want to achieve, right? For instance, technique for me comes to like solve problems, right? You know, that was a problem for me to wanted to play that, a problem in a good way, right? I wanted to play like that, play that kind of groove on the guitar, but how would I do that? So the technique came in 8, right? My 8 of trying to like help me doing that. So independence of the fingers and 16 notes and groove and the way the thumb is positioned, that all kind of played a part in trying to model that groove, right? So technique served the performance, you know, and solve problems, right? For instance, you know, I can play a straight up like samba like this, like. It's great, perfect. But if I want more stuff, right? If I want to like model the sound I want, and the sound I want has more percussive elements, has more percussion, because I'm always like listen to drummers and basses and this samba school stuff. I'm here a tambourine groove thing happening. I'm hearing the bass. I'm here, so I want to model that. I want to play that. How do I do that? How do I get to do this like a right? This is way more busy and more move and stuff like that, right? So is that a particular technique that I use here? I mean, maybe a bunch of them together, but I wasn't really thinking about technique. I was just trying to like have a goal in mind. Like I want to achieve that sound. How do I get more percussive? Like more 16 notes. So I have to like really kind of like work on my right hand rather, you know, my this 3 group of fingers and 16 notes and ghost notes, and how I'm gonna let the notes out. So play more percussive and let some notes accent the accents I want to be accented, you know, in a way. You know, on the bass, how the bass works. Like, you know, I want to be heavy on the second. So that means I have to adjust my thumb in a certain way to give that push, to get that bottom that I want, right? The example, like for instance, I do a thing, just thinking about it, that I kind of adjust my thumb just because I want a heavier bass, or when the bass is more moved, like when I do like, you know, but if I start I'm already like inclining my wrist a little bit to get that kind of metallic sound, because I want more the nails in that part of the line, right? I can do, see, it's a more like metallic sound, so it's like it just pinching, just like goes more, projects more. So that's technique acting, right? To talk about what you're asking, like, you know, I just kind of adjusted the technique in order to play what I hear. I want to hear the metallic sound here. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't, right? So I kind of adjust accordingly. So that is technique working to my 8, right? To help me achieve the sound I want, the sound I'm hearing, right? So the other thing you ask is, how do I develop this relaxed way? Well, that's there's a very simple answer to that, Anthony. The answer to that is just by getting my ass kicked all the time, right? Trying to do something and doing the wrong way, or doing something that I wasn't able to do before, and then I just kind of did it, and then I experienced, so I was like, wow, I can't do it this thing like that, so I gotta find a way to do it, or, you know, a different way, otherwise I can't play it, for instance, right? And that's when, like, you know, real life as a musician helps, you know, to develop these things, like playing your gigs, right? For instance, like when you play, you know, I got my ass kicked playing like long gigs, for instance, you know, like 4-hour gig, 5-hour gigs and stuff, when you have to play a bunch of samba stuff, a bunch of fast stuff sometimes, you know. So fast tempos, long gigs, it's the ultimate trial of fire to get relaxed, because at first I was playing a groove like this, let's say like a João Bosco groove. João Bosco, great genius guitarist, composer, like has this groove that's kind of a signature. So playing this groove, so I'm relaxed, right? So I can play for longer this groove. But when I start playing like that, I got a gig, and then like years and years it goes, right? So I was trying to play a fast like that, and I was like super tense over here, and my wrist was tense. So that didn't help, right? I learned by doing it and then getting my ass kicked, basically. So because by the end of the second song I was dead. I was like, oh my god, my wrist is just like I'm feeling my wrist. I needed to find a way to play that differently. So that's when I play through and practice, I was like, I gotta find a way to play this and don't get killed by the end of the gig, right? And the sort of the obvious choice for me was, well, when you go faster, as you go faster, you have to be even more relaxed. That's what I learned. I mean, that's how I think about it. Fast as you go, as relaxed you have to be, because there's a natural tendency to be kind of tense and trying to play stuff, right? Because you tense, it's like the chords you just pass by you fast. You have to think fast. You have to like sync in with the band and all that stuff, and figure out the singers doing, plus getting the stuff played. So there's a natural tendency to create tension, in your body and your playing. So the work that I did towards that was trying to relax as fast as I went through. So if it gets faster, I try to get relaxed. It's a conscious decision that now is kind of incorporated when I play. So that's why when you said that you think I play relaxed, it's because I have that kind of ingrained in my body and my mind, in my hands, basically. So when I play, I'm super relaxed, because I'm confident of the groove I have to play, and also important, I know all the elements of this groove, right? Some grooves kind of requires you to be really relaxed in one part and one layer, and not really relaxed in the other one, be more like kind of tense a little bit, but the overall needs to be relaxed, right? For instance, when I play that's another João Bosco groove, right? The same groove with a different song that he does that, right? So you have to play this bass. It's an ostinato. It has to be played while doing this. So when I play this is kind of like in autopilot, and I'm focusing on making this bass really sing in kind of like a lyrical way on top of that frantic stuff, right? So when I play this groove, I'm thinking of the bass. I'm not thinking of the samba groove. I'm just trying to make the bass being fluid, and that already makes me really relaxed when I play this, Trying to make it groove, man, So I'm thinking of the bass and just kind of like making it fluid, right? When you play, other types of, I'm playing a lot of samba grooves here because there's something I do a lot in that style, and I kind of have a system together that I put with that I teach and stuff like that. We can talk about that later, but I have a thing the way I teach that kind of goes through all these grooves. But a groove like this. That's a groove that can go ultra fast, Like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right? It's insane fast. But you see that this is all this is happening and still relaxed. It's tense in a way, but it's relaxed at the same time. See, it's busy, right? Because I'm covering all these drums and all this stuff, all this swirl, 16 notes, but my bass, it's super relaxed. See. See? I'm super relaxed. Again, I'm worried about the bass. I'm just trying to play it. See, it's all about making it relaxed. And even when you're super fast, you have to like, the faster you go, more relaxed you have to be to play stuff like that, right? So that's the tip I would give you, trying to find relaxed ways to play faster tempos. So as you increase the tempo, you're trying to be more relaxed, because the tendency is to get tense because you have to deal with so many things. So know the groove you're playing really well is slow. Know all the ins and outs, know all the layers. I have a thing when I teach that I talk about different layers. This thing takes care of this. So when you identify the layers, you take care of them, you just kind of, play them really well, slow, and then you start just speeding up like the process of playing the groove. And then when you get to that point, you make a conscious effort to just to be relaxed, even when we're playing fast tempos, right? So two things, that, and also the technique has to serve me, right? I have to adjust technique all the time when I'm playing, just because I hear things in my head and I want to get them played, and I have to figure out a way how to play them, how to achieve a certain sound, how to model a tambourine sound, how to model a bass, how to model a slap. Sometimes I do. Right? How do I get the slappy bass stuff? So I have to like find a way technique-wise to do that. I didn't learn how to do that slap whatever in the technique. So when I was practicing guitar, it just came out of a necessity, right? It just kind of serves. It's like it's coming to aid to solve problems. That's the way I see it, right? So thank you so much for the question, and I hope that was helpful to help you find some relaxed way of playing, right? So guys, don't forget to tune in tonight for the live that I'm going to do. More questions, you can ask more questions. We can hang out and talk more about technique and repertoire and samba and all that good stuff, right? Before I go, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate the little bell thing notifications. This is all my social media stuff, and don't forget to sign up for the mailing list. It's very, very important. So there's a lot of stuff coming up. I have a new album coming in. It's gonna be awesome, and I can't wait to share with you guys. And I'll leave you guys here today and see you tonight, and then tomorrow again. Thanks.